Well, Ted Cruz is always mocking, President McCain, President Dole, President Romney, because, they didn't really have anything to diversify from the Democratic candidates. Maybe, the argument that Donald Trump is appealing to non-traditional voters to bring them out to the polls can help him. What do you think?
Well, I
Mm,
go with the. Oh, I'm sorry. I go with my
Go ahead,
highly
please.
scientific poll of my elderly father and his friends in Florida. And what, though they have been at least 50% right in every election so far, these are older, angry, middle class white people. And they have been actually a fairly reliable source of how that group thinks. And what I hear from them is not dissimilar from what some of the polls are showing, and certainly what you hear from the pundits, and that is, well, of course Trump went too far. Of course we're not going to ban all Muslims, but the guy kind of has a point. We need to do something more, and it's going to be has to be something more than we've been doing. When the Democratic candidate is saying something, a version of stay the course, or trying to keep herself at least vaguely aligned with the White House, Trump's message resonates. And I think people kind of quietly nod along and say, we got to do something. San Bernardino, we can't have another one of those. And so Trump is scary to me. Just to interject one other point about how Trump is also likely scaring the underpants off of big time old school Republicans. Keep in mind that the sketched out version of this election a year ago was supposed to be Jeb Bush, a classic brainless clone who would do anything he's told to do by his big money vendors. It was supposed to be Jeb Bush way out front, positioned against Hillary. Nobody saw Trump coming, and with respect to Josh, anybody who thinks they know where he's going, I think will still be surprised.
Well, just to touch on the Ted Cruz point is we were all saying that at some point the Republican Party will come back to their senses and pick an establishment guy. He's saying that the reason that they've lost all these elections is because they keep choosing establishment guys. And Josh, do you think that Donald Trump can reverse the trend by getting people who would never vote for those people to come out to the polls?
It depends again on sort of, because this is the primary. It's not just the election. General election would be a whole different thing, and that's sort of what argument Cruz is making, which is why I think it works best for Cruz, because he's a psychopath but also a senator, so he fits better than Trump does. But I do think that if part of Trump's organization is going into those early states, registering those voters as Republicans so they can support him, he might win primaries. I mean, that's, as Peter rightly pointed out, every time. I remember when insulting John McCain, we were like, how could Trump even think of that? I mean, that's almost, it's banal at this point. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Trump can bring in the support he seems to be getting, that outsider support that is very popular. I just, I don't know if the fear thing is a consistent way to build that coalition throughout primary states, later primary states like, California, New York, PA, Ohio, places like that. Like those places tend to pick more establishment people, and that's why the primary delegates are weighted to those states.